Alright, after DeepSeek, we now have Grok 3. Grok 3 is another chatbot, just like ChatGPT and DeepSeek, but it's much more dangerous than both of them. Grok, created by XAI, a company working on building artificial intelligence to accelerate human scientific discovery, is backed by none other than Elon Musk. Grok 3 is still in beta, but we can use Grok 2 completely free. It can help us generate cool images, code, and much more. I've been using this thing for over a week, and believe me, it's way more powerful than any other chatbot I've used. Yeah, even better and more powerful than ChatGPT. But anyway, this isn't a sponsored video for Grok AI. Instead, we're gonna learn how we can use Grok AI to help us with hacking and penetration testing tasks. I've noticed that Grok AI is much better for hacking-related tasks in the past few days I've used it. You'll see why in a moment. Today, we're gonna ask it a few things about hacking, learn some hacking techniques, and even write some scripts using it. So let's start the video and see what this sucker can do for us. Signing up for this thing is super easy. You can visit the XAI website, just search for it or click the link in the description to get there. This is the official site by XAI. I really like their website, by the way. Anyway, click on Try Now to go to the sign up section, where you can easily sign up using Google, Twitter, or your email. Once you sign in, you should see something like what's on your screen right now. This is the main interface of Grok 3. The user interface is quite different from ChatGPT and other chatbots, and I really liked it. If you look carefully, you'll see that we're using Grok 3, which is still in beta. You get free tries to use Grok 3, but if you run out, you'll have to pay for it. But no worries, Grok 2 is more than enough for us to do our cybersecurity stuff. Alright, so the first thing I did was ask if it could help us with ethical hacking and cybersecurity, and fortunately, it said yes, but the response was quite moderate. Before moving forward in the video, I want to tell you about the PDF file I've made, which contains more than 250 hacking commands, from beginner to advanced. If you're interested, you can grab it for just $4.99 by clicking the first link in the description. Plus, the first 10 people who use the discount code shown on your screen will get 30% off. If you're a member, you can get it completely free, and if you join the Discord server, you'll receive a 50% off discount code. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. After this, I asked it to give me a complete roadmap to becoming a great hacker in just 6 months. It gave me a detailed response, and honestly, it was really good and fast. But now you might be thinking, why is this sucker asking such beginner-level stuff? Don't worry, some really cool things are coming, so just stick with the video. Next, I asked it to write some Python code for a reverse shell listener and a payload, but with a twist. I wanted it to make the code more advanced and undetectable by antivirus software. Now, I was expecting something like, no, I can't help you with that, you know, the usual restrictions, but I was amazed to see that it actually responded with the full code for both the reverse shell listener and the payload. The code was very advanced, including obfuscation and other techniques. The response also explained how to use the code and even described the techniques it used to make it more sophisticated. So I quickly copied the code into my Kali Linux WSL and ran it. But then, well, I got a bit disappointed. The code wasn't working at first because my system didn't have the crypto module installed, so I installed it, but still it wasn't working. I asked it to use something else instead of the crypto module since it wasn't working. Grok rewrote the code, but this time using the cryptography module. So I copied the new code, ran it again, and luckily it worked this time. It even gave me more examples using XOR encryption and other techniques. The responses were very detailed, especially for hacking-related stuff. But again, this was still beginner-level stuff. Even DeepSeek could do this. So let's push it further. I asked Grok to make an advanced C2 server for my local host, just for educational purposes. I also told it to add persistence, but skip encryption since it was just for local testing. Plus, I wanted it to support multiple connections. Now, if you don't know what a C2 server is, it's basically a command and control server where bots or clients connect, allowing the attacker to access them later on. I fed this prompt to Grok and it immediately got to work. Once it finished generating the code, I copied it into my WSL and I was shocked at how good it was. It even added persistence for both Linux and Windows, and the server itself was very well made. In fact, I had to manually remove the persistence from my system after I was done testing it. Now, imagine if this got into the wrong hands. How much damage could someone with bad intentions do with this? A malicious actor could use this to build dangerous tools and cause harm to innocent people. I also made some modifications to this C2 server, but unfortunately, I can't show them here due to strict YouTube community guidelines. However, if you want exclusive content, you can buy our monthly membership and get access to the private sections of our Discord server where you'll find premium content for free and can learn cybersecurity directly from me and other cybersecurity experts. Okay, so that was mostly scripting and beginner level stuff. Now let's step it up. I asked Grok, I found a local file inclusion vulnerability in a website. How can I use it to gain remote access? Now, if you don't know what local file inclusion is, it's a web vulnerability that allows a remote attacker to access restricted files on a server. It's a dangerous bug found on many websites, and in some some cases, it can even be exploited to gain remote access to the system. So I asked Grok to give me some techniques to achieve remote code execution using LFI, and I was amazed by the response. It gave me a whole list of techniques to exploit LFI for RCE, along with detailed explanations on how to use each method to execute commands on the target server. I then tried the same thing with SQL injection. I asked Grok, how can I achieve command execution if I find an SQL injection vulnerability? And again, it provided a detailed guide on how to escalate SQLE to RCE, explaining various methods step by step. Next, I asked Grok to give me different techniques for privilege escalation. Now, no worries if you don't know what privilege escalation is. It's the process of gaining higher level access on a system, like escalating from a normal user to root on Linux, so that we can have full control over the system. Privilege escalation is a very important aspect of system hacking. So I first asked it to list all privilege escalation techniques for Linux, and once again, it gave me a long, detailed list of methods. Now, stepping things up even further, I asked it to write a script that could automatically find privilege escalation vectors on a Linux system, and it did. It quickly wrote me a Python script that scans a system for privilege escalation vulnerabilities, and if it finds one, it automatically exploits it to gain root access. Oh, and funny enough, it wrote the code in Python. I guess it knows I love Python. Well, now let's talk about malware for a bit. Malware is a very dangerous part of hacking. These things can destroy thousands of computers if used maliciously. But at the same time, malware can also be used for educational purposes, to understand how it works, learn the techniques behind it, and strengthen system security. So I asked Grok if it could write me a simple malware in C for Linux. My request was simple. Write me a C program that encrypts a file named hello.txt in the same directory and doesn't decrypt it until the correct key is provided. Grok quickly understood what I was asking and started generating the code. It not only wrote the C program, but also explained each step in detail. Now let's test this thing out. I copied the encryptor code and pasted it into a file. Then I created a hello.txt file with some random text inside. After that, I compiled the C program and ran it. And boom, it successfully encrypted our hello.txt file. Now it's asking for a secret key, which in this case is secret key. If we try to cat the hello.txt file, you can see that all the data inside it has become completely unreadable. This was just a simple example, but imagine if someone with bad intentions got their hands on something like this. With just a few modifications, which Grok could easily generate, they could turn this into something really dangerous. They could gain shell access to your system, encrypt all your files and demand ransom, remotely control your system and use it for illegal activities, or even monitor everything you do without you knowing. This is why AI-powered hacking tools can be both extremely useful and extremely dangerous at the same time. Now, if you are someone on the good side, I mean ethical hacking and stuff like this, Grok can be really useful for us. We can use it to learn new cool things, just like you've seen in this video. I've noticed that Grok 3 has way fewer security filters compared to other chatbots, like it was telling everything very explicitly, without much restriction. This is both a good and a bad thing at the same time. Well, that's all I have for you in this video. If you found it useful, make sure to like the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also, let me know in the comments what you want me to do next with Grok AI. I hope you'll like the video. Don't forget to join the Discord server and follow me on Instagram. Until next time, happy hacking.